One of the reasons so many of us love Costco is because of their very generous returns policy. Frankly, I can't think of another retailer that has a better and more liberal returns policy. And I also think that it might be a forward indicator that we can look at to see, is a recession coming? Because when recessions are coming, all of us cut back on our spending. And some of us will look and say, are there ways that I can raise some money to increase my cash reserves in case I need them, in case I get laid off from my job? And so you can try selling your used stuff on Facebook or a garage sale. But you know what some people have done is they actually return stuff that they've bought from Costco years ago. It's a very generous policy. And so in today's video, I'm going to share a little bit about that returns policy and why I think it could be a forward indicator, and then share some thoughts from what the Costco executives are saying. So let's jump in. We're going to start off with a Yahoo Finance article. It's called "Costco Members Spill Shocking Tales of Wild Product Returns. Open food and years-old furniture." Here's what they're saying. And it first explains the Costco policy, and it's led, the 100% satisfaction guarantee has led to unusual items that have left many social media users amused and perplexed. Let's see what people are returning. One of the infamous returns happened in 2018 when a woman returned in January her dead Christmas tree. And you know what? It was accepted. And another one is a couple returned a 5-year-old queen-size mattress to Costco and said, you know what, it's getting uncomfortable. And you know what? Costco accepted that. And then the last one that I want to share is somebody came back to Costco with an empty box of candy and went to the front desk and said, I wasn't happy with the candy, but all she had was the empty box. And you know what? Costco accepted that return. So when people are looking to return things or to raise cash, rather than sell something used, they can get the initial retail price. Now, I'm not condoning this. In fact, you can see I'm chuckling along with you on this. But let's see what Costco executives have to say. This is another Yahoo Finance article, and it's "Costco execs warn of a looming recession because of one change shoppers are making to their buying habit." And the article goes on to say, in times of economic struggle, Americans tend to change their shopping habits, and we've talked about this. It's called the lipstick effect, where people will continue splurging on smaller items, such as candles and cosmetics, but they may delay larger purchases. And it's an example that Costco executives have spotted with their consumers. They're seeing that. In a call with investors reported by Business Insider, Costco Chief Financial Officer Richard Galanti says he's seen more customers switching from more expensive beef products to less expensive meat choices like pork and chicken. And he's also seen this as an indicator of recession in the future. So are Costco executives warning us that their returns are forecasting a recession? They're not, but I think it just makes sense, right? When money's tight and we think, you know what, I wish I hadn't 3 months ago bought that big screen TV. Or let's say you just bought a major product at Costco, maybe in the summertime, outdoor furniture. In the wintertime, maybe you bought a hot tub at Costco. And let's say you lost your job a couple weeks later, unexpectedly. Well, one of the things you're doing is thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't bought that from Costco. And then the light goes off and says, you know what, I bet I could return it. And in fact, Costco is very generous with their returns policy. So people are doing that. And what I'm hearing from people in Costco, from Costco employees, when I go, I'm a fan of Costco as well, is that returns are up. And we all saw recently that Costco increased their membership rates, announced the membership rate increase. And one of the things that when I look on online posts, online social media places like Reddit and places like that, Costco employees are saying, One of the reasons that they had to raise their membership rates is because returns are increasing, and it's one of the ways that Costco offsets their returns, the cost of the returns is with their membership rate. So I think it's a really fascinating business model. It's over half of Costco's profits is attributed to their membership rates. And really, they run their warehouses as close to break even as they can and really want to make their money off of membership. Now, I think that's a very, very hard way to sell memberships, but there's few operators that are better out there than Costco. So what does all this mean for us? Is a recession around the corner? Is a recession likely going to happen? And I don't have a crystal ball, but I can answer the question, is a recession coming? And the answer to that is yes. A recession is always coming, right? What I don't know is that in 3 weeks? Is that in 3 months? Or is it in 3 years or longer? But it's a normal part of a country's economy is to go through these ebbs and flows. And part of the central banks, in our case, the Federal Open Markets Committee's job, is to help minimize the extremes of those ebbs and flows, because that's where people hurt. So that's Jerome Powell's job and the Federal Reserve's job. But what is our job? What can we do to prepare? I think the first thing is for sure to have an emergency fund. At least 3 months of living expenses, preferably 6 to 12 months of living expenses in something like at your local bank account, in something that's liquid, that's easy to get your hands on, and you don't have to worry about the price of it going down. Sometimes people will say, hey, Azul, I've got an emergency fund. You'd be really proud of me. And then they say, you know, they have 6 months of living expenses in the S&P 500. It's good that they've set aside money for that emergency fund. And it's highly likely that over an investment cycle, 5, 7, 10 years, that money in the S&P is going to do better than the money in the bank. The problem is when people are most likely to need that money, when they lose the job, when they have an unexpected health issue, it could be that the stock market is down at the time. So that $1,000 bill for a broken arm might feel more like $1,300 to them if the stock market's down 30%. So I like having, even though banks aren't paying much, they're certainly paying more than they were 3 or 4 years ago in interest rates. The main purpose of that is to give you a buffer to be able to pay for these unexpected medical expenses. Over half of all Americans say that they could not pay for a $1,000 unexpected expense, a car breaking down, a medical expense, a family member needing some money, maybe an increase in tuition or a special assessment. And so you want to be able to cover those things without having to put them on your credit card. Now, it's fine to put it on your credit card as long as you pay it off. But that's the purpose of an emergency fund, and that's why we keep it somewhere like at a bank, somewhere where it's local, it's liquid, it's easy to get your hands on. It's not about optimizing the return. You're optimizing on your security and your peace of mind when something bad happens. And making good decisions like this is really critical. And that's why I made this video up here that talks about why retiring at 65 might be a big mistake. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.